verse 23. And it came to pass that when he, Jesus, went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and his disciples began as they went, as the disciples walked along, to pluck the ears of corn. 24. And the Pharisees said unto him, unto Jesus, Behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful? So, again, these Pharisees, they're traditionalists. They believe in the law of Moses. And a lot of the Pharisees were, frankly, just as big a hypocrites as the Sadducees were. The Sabbath was one of their big preaching points. And we're going to find out the truth about the Sabbath here, but their teaching was that you don't do any work on the Sabbath. And plucking ears of corn while you walk through a cornfield, I guess that's work. Now, we'll put this on the screen for you. This is important. It has to do with what we're about to read. But 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 and 7 tells us there that Christ became our Sabbath. Let's continue. Verse 25. And he, Jesus, said unto them, the Pharisees, Have ye never read? Now remember, the Pharisees, they believe their whole thing is based on the Old Testament, so that's where Jesus is going. Have you never read in the Old Testament what David did when he had need and was an hungered, he and they that were with him? So there you go. Jesus throws the Old Testament right back at them because that's what they hang on to. And remember, David was being chased by Saul. Him and his men, Saul was trying to kill him. And the message here is, if David could lawfully feed himself and his men on the Sabbath day, well, couldn't the Son of Man do the same thing? Jesus continues here, speaking of David, verse 26, how he's telling the story, how he, David, went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar, the high priest, and did eat the showbread, bread of the priests, which is not lawful to eat but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him. So, friends, what's Jesus saying here? If you're doing God's work, you're his priest. You're one of his priests in his eyes. You have all the rights. This whole priesthood thing, I've got some teaching on it. I don't want to go into it right now, but if you are working in the field, teaching the Word of God, trying to seal his truth in the minds of his children, you're as much a priest of God as anybody else that walks this earth, beloved. And you have every right of any other man that walks this earth teaching the Word of God. Verse 27. And he said, Jesus said, unto them, the Pharisees, traditionalists, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Friends, that's deep. Think about it. I mean, That answers everything about the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made to help us, to help man, not punish us. More importantly, with the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, he became our Sabbath. I just showed you that. He became our peace, friends. He became our rest. And in Jesus Christ, every day is our Sabbath. Every day. Don't miss what this verse is saying. I'll put it on the screen for you again. The Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. You understand what that's saying? Friends, don't let false teachers lead you astray. The Sabbath isn't about going to church on Sunday or Saturday, if that's your belief. Now, believe me, there isn't anything wrong with that. We should all go to church if we have a good Bible teaching church that we can go to. But that isn't our Sabbath. Going to church and sitting in that pew and listening to some man is not our Sabbath. That isn't our rest in the Lord, friends. You only find that in Jesus Christ. The Sabbath is found every day, beloved, in your belief in Jesus Christ. And don't let anybody ever take that away from you, friends. Jesus continues, verse 28, therefore, Jesus continues, therefore the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. He is our Sabbath, beloved. All the rest of it, traditions of men. Stuff that's been passed down and for whatever reason. And they are traditions of men. They're about as worthless for getting to heaven as circumcision is.